Hey Pisces, and welcome to your March 2018 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. And oh my gosh, Pisces, the energy is absolutely just incredible. It's so Pisces, so Neptune. This is your time of the year. Super happy birthday to you guys. I think that this solar return for you will give you the most that you've had in many. I think that this is an extremely empowering time for you guys. Lots of diverse energy coming in. You guys have Pentacles, Swords, Wands, Cups, Major and Minor Arcana in your spread. So the energy is very balanced, although the cards actually represented are kind of polarized and more difficult archetypes, although I feel like you're handling it with a lot of poise and a lot of more maturity and ability to cope than in the past. This month is such an incredible time of culmination for you. You do have the world as your central theme. The world has been popping up for a lot of people this month. And other than that, Two of Swords has been coming up as well, but Six of Pentacles has been so common this month, and you guys actually have the Seven, so I do think in a way you are ahead of a lot of people. You've come out of that experience. I think that a lot of Pisces have finally been able to give themselves the closure or finally been able to step into a more healthy relationship sphere. If you're still feeling very overwhelmed with relationships or very overwhelmed with how you are connecting and tying into other people, I really think that March comes in to get you past that. So if you're a Pisces who's been through like the really tough breakup or still struggling to cope from somebody's loss, sort of in that grief or bereavement stage, I really think that March gives you the protection and strength and stability to rise above. Although I also feel like there can be a bit of stagnation here as well. And it's not so bad to have a little bit of both either. Like stagnation is a very worrisome term for a lot of us in the spiritual community, but I actually think that it could do you a bit of good, Pisces. Like really sit down and relax with yourself. You have a lot of cards that deal with solitude and strength in solitude this month. You have the Hermit, the Hanged Man, Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, and Seven of Swords. So wow, 3 sevens. And for me, 7 is a number of divine connection, yes, but also really strong identification of something. And it's a little bit different than some of the more traditional interpretations of the number 7, but to me 7 identifies and 7 illuminates and highlights and details. So what needs that in your life, Pisces? What needs a strong definition or illumination within your experience? Forming that and understanding what that actually is brings you a lot of power this month. And you guys do have 3 major arcanas, as I said, the Hanged Man, the World, the Hermit, so it will definitely be one of the more empowered months of your year of 2018, I always say with 3 or more. So what needs to end here? 10 of Swords, the World, very, very strong endings. That's sort of like a minor arcana death card to me, the 10 of Swords. And then the World is like the end of the major arcana. So this could be a month where you have the breakup, or a month where you have to make a change in your life, where you need to end something, where you need to culminate, and try to not resist that. Try to not be fearful of things stopping or changing, because sometimes it would be more scary if things just were predictable. So try to embrace unpredictability. Try to embrace the protection that you do have. I always consider the Hermit to be a card of protection and a validation that you are connected to the divine and throughout this dark night of the soul, because you do have 10 of Swords, I mean 7 of Swords, 7 of Cups, 9 of Wands. A lot of you are feeling actually very abused or very taken advantage of. Not all of you. I do feel like, again, it's a very almost like 50-50 thing. I think you're either a Pisces kind of learning the lesson from this or having just gone through this. So abusive relationships, testing your coping ability, just lots of tests of wherewithal and ability to rise from the ashes do come up here, or closure out of those types of circumstances. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get into the week to week to help understand a little bit more of what's coming forward for all Pisces. So in the first week, Pisces, you guys have 7 of Cups reversed. You're down by 10 of Swords reversed. It's super important in this week to not be too flexible with blame. So it feels like there's been a betrayal, or it feels like there's a lot of experiences that are gaining blame or gaining cause. So like, who did what? Whose fault was this? Who pays the price for this experience? And I'm really feeling that there can be a lot of fogginess here. So Neptune is in your sign, Pisces. It's your time of the year. There's a big water trine actually happening right now when the moon goes in to Cancer. We've got Jupiter in Scorpio, Neptune in Pisces, and moon will be in Cancer, plus a lot of inner planets in Pisces. So barriers can really be eroded and mirrors can become very foggy. Try to not be needing the definition too much. And I mentioned earlier in the reading, it's like this is a month where definition and illumination happens. And it's like the illumination actually happens, but it's like it has to be marked in your mind and then defined later. So it's almost like more of a month where the memory and the realization and confirmation of vision does happen, while at the same time you can allow this a period of time to sort of gestate with what you're seeing, to become one with your experiences, and not necessarily need a solid conclusion or a solid realization of what needs to happen. Because more so than progressive action right now, Pisces, I feel that you need more of a passive release, especially until we get about in the second half of March. So what can you do to release in the first half? A wonderful time to go to the sauna, a wonderful time to have chiropractic work or massage work or anything that deals with releasing toxins and impurities. And also a good time to just hear the truth of other people, because I think that there might be a lot of lies circulating around. To me, Seven of Cups, Ten of Swords, the Hanged Man, all of these cards can deal with lies and secrets. So even if you're hearing like very nonchalant, unimportant things, just hearing the truth of other people, I think, can give a lot of solace to you and can raise any of the difficult vibes to a much higher place. I think it will be good for Pisces to not have to be so investigative during this time as well. Like if you might be struggling in a relationship and you're worried that you're being cheated on or you're worried that there are lies, it might not be so good to really go digging right now. And it's not that you can't investigate, but try to not be too accusatory as well. Like I feel like Pisces being too accusatory towards other people without like a hard evidence might lead you to feel very betrayed or lead you to feel very stabbed in the back in some way. So yeah, in the first week, it would be honestly just good to be involved with more minor aspects of life. You know, if you can, try to just focus on maybe cleaning your house or something that doesn't have to be a life or death situation, because just Seven of Cups and Ten of Swords together can be very visceral and very overwhelming if you're trying to like solve all your life's problems at once. Week number 2, Pisces, you have the Hermit rooted down by Seven of Swords reversed. To me, that feels exactly like the energy of investigation again. It's like there is a possibility that you're being taken advantage of in some way, or that somebody is taking more than their fair share of your energy. And then the Hermit is like shining light on that. So I feel like the universe does this in and of itself, though, Pisces. I don't think you have to try that hard to look beneath everything and see everybody's purposes and hidden intentions without necessarily finding much. I think that you are going to see everything clearly enough as it is. And I also think that you're having a very strong psychic expansion here as well. To me, I feel like with the Lantern of the Hermit connecting to Seven of Swords, it's like carrying a lot of psychic weight and carrying a lot of universal void energy, and you are the sign of the void. You're the sign of the depth of the ocean and outer space as well, just void energy. So there could be a new version of that opening up for you, and a new portal into the void opening, like a new reality coming in. So that's interesting. So we are coming right into the very end of 2017 year energy there, right before we get into the equinox in the 3rd and 4th week. So what last minute doors need to open in your reality, Pisces, through letting go of all of this? Where do you want to see yourself? Is the current reality that you're functioning in harmonizing with who you are at a soul level? I feel that a lot of changes can be made in the 2nd week to at least outline or plan a new possibility to come in. In the 3rd week, you guys have Two of Swords reversed, rooted down by Nine of Wands reversed. Very blocked off. It feels to me that there's sort of a backup reaction happening in you, like a trauma automatic pilot or something. It feels like autopilot to me, that you're just like covering yourself up, building up walls. And it's not that bad. I mean, you are getting into equinox time and starting out. So make sure that the boundaries that you establish here are wholesome and work for the longevity of your experience, because I do feel you can build like too strong of boundaries, which is strange for Pisces. Again, you're a Neptune sign and you actually rule the dissolution of boundaries. So to see you in this place of building them is actually, I think, very admirable, because it's been such a struggle for you. To other signs, I might say that it's important to not be too walled off to other people, but I think this is important for you, Pisces, to understand a healthy connection with boundaries. So, for example, if you have people that you think are abusing your energy or taking more than they can give back or prioritizing themselves through a guise of prioritizing you, The boundaries that you build right now in that moment can be really wholesome and not pull in any longer people who are so vampiristic in that way, but rather people who are more like you and can more healthily benefit off of the energetic transactions. Although, be careful about setting up walls that cannot be accessed by anybody, period. Like, you can become a bit too isolated and alone through this, because that fourth week, Seven of Pentacles, you're down by the Hanged Man reversed, both very solitude, isolated energies. So straight into equinox, Pisces, it's feeling like you're needing a time of reflection. You're needing a time of flipping everything on its head, seeing things from new perspectives, understanding everything in your past from the point of view of other people. And I know you've been here for a long time with this. Some of you may have come out the other side, some of you may still be here. So if you feel like you've come out of the other side with the whole connection and orientation to the past, give yourself a reward. Reward yourself for coming out of that. And I actually feel like you can let the walls down instead of trying to fortify them so intensely. And if you're sort of just coming into the place where you're like, oh, I do have a past, I do have experiences that need reflection, and I need to get into that mode, you know, build the walls up and begin that process, you know. But I would try to do as much of it as you can here. It's almost like once we get into April, it needs to end, and you need to sort of be in a place where no longer do you have to be obsessed with the past or be crossing all those T's and dotting all those I's, because the world is your central theme, Pisces. So ultimate endings happen here. It's almost a like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas type of energy. So what happens in March, Pisces needs to stay in March. I think you're pretty much untouchable in this month. It's your solar return time, so powerful, so all-encompassing for the rest of us to realize, and none of us can really quite get it the way that you can. So, you know, have your moment with yourself, have your moment with the people of your past. If you're betrayed, if you're taken advantage of, have the strength to be able to redefine those relationship ties if you need to. Come into a more intuitive connection with how boundaries work in your life, and, you know, have that reflection, and then be prepared to take everything that you're given here in March and make a foundation out of it and like rock it off into a whole nother sphere of reality. Anyway, I hope that this reading resonated for you all. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, rising sign. If you would like to book a private reading with me, the link is in the center of the screen right now. You guys can also check out the 2018 Year Ahead series that I did. The playlist is on this screen too, and your subscribe, likes, and comments make my day. I am on Twitter and Instagram. Those links are in the description box. Much love, and we'll be talking soon. Bye.